Look, I've been foraging for edible Cobblers Pegs leaves. They're a good wild food, wild vegetable, salad vegetable or pot vegetable. And I was reminded that you've got to know what you're doing when you're foraging, because you don't want to mistake Cobblers Pegs for white cedar. White cedar is neurotoxic. Here we have Cobblers Pegs. And growing right beside it is neurotoxic white cedar. They look very similar at first glance. They do. Let's have a closer look by hand. Now look, there are the distinctive Cobblers Pegs. Come on, focus. That's the Cobblers Pegs. The distinctive Cobblers Pegs. So called because they're sharp. Ow. And they're just like Cobblers Pegs, and they'll stick in your clothes and everything. That's the Cobblers Pegs. Pegs. There's a Cobblers Pegs bud. The buds are yellow flowers, open into yellow flowers. Oh, there's a yellow flower here. Let's have a look. There's the yellow Cobblers Peg flower. You can get one with white flowers too. That's a Cobblers Peg, the flowers. Cobblers Peg buds. Cobblers Peg buds. Where are we here? Cobblers Pegs, a yellow flower. I can't see what I'm filming because there's too much sun. That's Cobblers Pegs. So here are the Cobblers Peg leaves and flowers. As I said, right next to them, you've got the leaves of neurotoxic white cedar. Let's have a look. They're young trees. It's a young white cedar tree come up from a sucker. It's come up from a sucker or from a seed. They're white cedars. White cedar. Now, there's the white cedar, and here I'm holding, there's a Cobbler's Peg leaf. See how you could easily mistake them if you didn't know what you're doing. So if you're foraging, you should always seek the advice of a foraging expert and a botanical expert. You really should. So similar at first glance. Let's look at the white cedar leaves. 2, 4, 5. How many lobes have they got? That's white cedar. The white cedar tree. And they've got green stems. I've got green stems. A green stem there. Whereas the Cobblers Pegs have got reddish stems, see? Reddish stems. And even reddish leaves in autumn. You really don't want to eat the neurotoxic white cedar. Learn to recognize white cedar as toxic. Now, if you want to be absolutely safe and sure when you're harvesting Cobblers Peg leaves as an edible green, that you can see the Cobblers Pegs, the nasty little things that stick to your clothes. I'll show you how they stick to your clothes. Look, they get stuck to your clothing and you can transport them for miles, and they're hard to get out, and they're very sharp, and they can poke you, and they hurt, and they can jab you in the eye, all sorts of things. See, they're hard to get rid of once they get stuck to you. Even in cat's fur, they're very difficult to get out of cat fur. But that's one way. Only pick the leaves. If you're not an expert on botany, only pick the edible leaves when they're in bloom, or have the identifiable Cobblers Peg spikes. This one's in bloom. It's got yellow flowers. Some Cobblers Pegs have got white flowers. These have got yellow flowers. And now, below, are the delicious Cobblers Pig leaves that can be used in salads, and as I said, in stews and things. You can cook them like spinach, but you don't want to mix them up with white cedar if they happen to be growing in the same district, and that's in my district. White cedar and Cobblers Pegs can grow near each other, and it's very easy for the untrained eye to mistake them one for the other. Here's a whole stand of Cobblers Pegs. Lots of free food there, all free edible greens. So if you know what you're looking for, always look out for the yellow flowers and Cobblers Pegs on top. That's one way to be absolutely sure. Here's all the Cobblers Peg stars. And the distinct flowers. The little yellow flowers. They're strange little flowers, aren't they? They don't have the full number of blossoms. As I said, there's ones with white flowers as well. This is what they look like after they flower. They form these buds, and then they form the stars after that. Distinct yellow flowers. And all these edible greens. Delicious edible Cobblers Peg leaves. Look at that, lovely green free salad. You can use them like spinach too. You can, they're just like spinach. I pick the young tender leaves. These older leaves can be a bit tough. There's an older leaf there. Pick the young tender ones, put them in your noodles. Distinct Cobblers Peg stars. In the old days, a cobbler would have had these pegs. They are sharp enough to nail into a rubber boot, I suppose, the bottom of a boot. Leather. I suppose they look like little nails. Note the distinct yellow flowers. The leaves. We boil up these tougher ones for spinach. Make a spinach, cheese and spinach, cheese and Cobblers Peg leaves into a pastry. That should be very nice. I must try that. So this is just all free food. Just Cobblers Pegs everywhere. Everywhere. They're a nuisance if they get stuck into your clothes. But they're a lovely green vegetable. And they're on the United Nations list of vegetables that are important for survival for all people. They're good emergency food. And they're quite delicious. Learn to recognise the Cobblers Peg stars. Aren't they vicious? Pretty but vicious. Distinct yellow flowers. So Cobblers Pegs here. Beautiful little Cobblers Peg tree, shrub rather, a little herb in front of me. And we're picking off the tender young leaves. What do they taste like? I suppose they're a bit like lettuce. A bit chewy. Nice with salad dressing. Lovely free greens, they grow everywhere. Lovely tender young Cobblers Pig Leaves. I think I should make a curry with coconut milk. That's what I think. Coconut milk and Cobblers Peg Leaves and some vegetables. See you then. Don't forget, always seek the expertise of a botanical expert and foraging expert before eating any wild foods. See ya.